This meeting is being recorded. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
I am president of this company, Ekampreet Singh.
I am Jaskirat Singh and I am the supervisor.
I am Taranpreet Singh and I am head of HR.
So as you guys know that we are in here meeting to know that whether we should let our employees work from home or not. So first of all, let's see a video I'm gonna share.
Yeah, sure.
Emerging from the shadows cast by COVID-19.
Switch to RBC and get an iPad at no cost. With RBC Vantage, unlock powerful benefits with your bank account.
So there's no doubt the pandemic has shaken up all of our daily routines. As we approach nearly 1 year of remote work, scientists are tracking how our behaviors have changed. Catherine Ward explains.
Vanessa Glasser has not stepped foot inside a courtroom for more than a year, as most hearings are now online.
And if people know that it's kind of a standard thing to do now to attend by video conference, it removes the novelty or the exceptionality of what otherwise would have been a special accommodation or a special request.
Behavioral scientist Laura DeVoe says watching how the pandemic has shaped attitudes over the past year has been fascinating.
I think it has 100% shifted the way we individually think about work. What will be interesting to see is how it collectively shapes our approach to work.
She says for the first few months, society was in survival mode. But now that more time has passed, new behaviors are becoming integrated into everyday living.
It really is just a trial and error of trying to open your mind to what is possible and what technology-enabled tools are available to you, and then figuring out what works and how that fits with what you do professionally.
Even how people think about their homes has changed, and new possibilities are emerging.
The people that have been working at home now for the last year, they've realized, oh my gosh, I can work and be just as productive. So they're moving out. So a lot of people are moving out of Toronto, going into the country.
However, experts say one of the biggest challenges is trying to replicate the feeling of connectivity, especially through all of the indirect forms of communication people use. And technology can only take us so far. Your hand gestures, your body language, those cues don't transmit the same way virtually as they do in person.
Vanessa says she looks forward to seeing how the court system will continue to evolve. And experts wonder if one of the legacies of the pandemic will be a greater acceptance for a different kind of balance.
We may actually free up time in our schedules and feel a little bit better about the amount of breathing room we have. But when we are able to connect, it'll be with a lot of purpose and a lot of meaning.
Catherine Ward, Global News.
I think going forward, there will be this sort of hybrid model, some, virtual, some at home, some in the office. But here's what the evidence is showing for is that being in person in an office in front of your supervisor in person, you are more likely to probably get a promotion that way than being a person working remotely on Zoom.
Oh, that's interesting. The other thing that I found interesting is I feel like conference calls last longer now, because at the beginning and at the end, and especially at the beginning, it's how is your day? What's going on? There's more small talk that we would be having at the water cooler,
right?
Catching up. Maybe you have to do more of that with your boss to get that right.
Yeah, that's more of that small talk.
So as we saw the video about working from home in this pandemic, what do you think, HR? This meeting is being recorded. So what do you think, Taranpreet Singh? As you are the
I think
manager of
it is
HR?
not a good option because it will decrease our productivity and we cannot perform well for our company. That's why.
Okay, and what are your views, Mr. Supervisor? Jaskirat Singh.
But I think so that it is a good idea because working from home, some people can increase their productivity and they can do work effectively while sitting at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to me, there will be no loss of productivity. I
Yeah.
agree with you, Jaskirat Singh, if we
Yeah.
stay strict. But let's watch some more videos about this before we talk
Okay.
about this. Let me share the video.
This meeting is being recorded.
And one more member joined with us. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Kanwar Singh and I am the head of the unit.
Oh,
Okay.
welcome, Kanwar.
So now let's
Thank you,
see
Jaskirat.
another video about working from home before we talk about it.
Kanwar कितना serious है?
This meeting is being recorded.
Start the video, bro.
Wait.
This is a HelloFresh box with everything you need to turn these ingredients into easy, fresh home cooking.
And many more getting used to working in a very different way. COVID-19 is transforming people's relationship to work, with millions now out of a job. And many more getting used to working in a different way. Americans working from home has gone from 1 in 50 to more than 1 in 3.
COVID has been a transformation, and that raises a whole bunch of questions. Do you need as much expensive office space, and do individual workers need to commute into the office every day?
The need for workers to gather together in offices has shaped almost every aspect of modern life. And the shift towards remote working could have far-reaching consequences. It could alter the shape and purpose of cities, affect gender equality, and even change how we think about time. The modern office emerged along with the Industrial Revolution, when people migrated to cities in search of work.
Factories required everybody to be together so they could take advantage of the powered machinery. That started to bring everybody into cities where they could work together and easily walk to the place where they were working. That in turn led to the growth of the offices to manage all those companies.
Early offices were organised into rows of desks for clerks, overseen by a central manager, mirroring the production line on the factory floor. And 200 years later, despite the rise of the internet, the basic function of the office persists.
We made the leap from being that people could communicate via electronic means, by email, by shared documents, without realising that didn't mean that everybody had to be in the same place. You've got mail. We've had 20-odd years since the internet, and office design is really only starting to reflect the real possibilities of that change.
The uncomfortable truth about offices is that they are expensive and inefficient. Companies spend on average $10,000 on office space per employee every year. The most expensive office real estate is in Hong Kong, where every square foot costs on average $265 per year. Beijing and London are the next most expensive locations. The need for social distancing in the pandemic could reduce the number of staff in London offices by 2/3, making the office look like an expensive artifact.
Talk to companies that say they're thinking of maybe using 2 floors in a building instead of 4, or maybe using regional offices, small sub-offices, so that not everybody has to commute into a big city.
The idea of workers clocking in and out at the same time every day also dates back to the Industrial Revolution. Before that, people were paid based on how much they made, rather than the amount of time they spent at work. And if the office ceases to be the centre of working life, the idea of working set hours, or the 9 to 5, will become less meaningful.
We may well work on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon if that's more convenient for us. We're shifting back again to people being paid for their function and not the time they turn up.
Tech companies are leading the charge towards remote working. Twitter has already said its staff need never come back to the office if they don't want to. Facebook says half its staff could be working remotely in a decade. These types of high-skill, highly paid roles have a disproportionate impact on the economy. They are known as knowledge jobs, and where they are physically located is important, as they support entire ecosystems of other jobs around them.
For every knowledge job, 5 other jobs that are dependent on that skill. Some of these are very high skilled, like lawyers and doctors, but most of them are lower skilled jobs like baristas, yoga instructors, and other sort of urban services. Once you add up the spillovers that they contribute, the majority of Americans are employed in a way that means that they're dependent on knowledge jobs.
Although it's impossible to know exactly how many other roles are supported by these so-called knowledge jobs, if they were to become remote positions, it would have a profound impact on the jobs they support in the wider economy. But this isn't a one-way street. Knowledge jobs are such powerful drivers of the economy because they are usually based in cities.
The reason that knowledge jobs tend to be located in cities is because they depend very heavily on these agglomeration effects. So when you put lots of people very closely together, they become much, much more productive. So Americans living in agglomerations with more than 1 million people are more than 50% more productive than ones living in metros with smaller populations. The question for knowledge workers is whether you can replicate those productivity benefits with a looser relationship to a city or sort of no relationship to a city.
Those able to work from home are a privileged minority. And in general, the higher a country's GDP per head, the more people are able to work remotely. In Cambodia, just 11% of jobs can be done from home, compared with 45% in Switzerland, and 37% in America. But the work from home revolution is having a particularly pronounced effect on some groups within the workforce. Women are more likely to work in face-to-face roles, and so they have been disproportionately affected by the recession caused by COVID-19. In previous recessions, men have generally been more likely to be laid off, as they are overrepresented in manufacturing and construction. This time around, more women in America have lost their jobs. And those who've kept their jobs have extra challenges. Mothers are now interrupted over 50% more often than fathers. But the normalization of home working during the pandemic could also have long-term benefits for some female workers.
If remote work this way of working that has no stigma attached to it, then I think that requirement that you talk about being in office all the time for these sort of very high-powered careers will sort of slacken slightly. I think that it might be a good thing for women to sort of help them break through.
Although offices are sitting empty, corporate leases can run for as long as a decade, and there has not yet been a rush to sell office real estate. So the office, in some form, looks set to survive the pandemic.
I'm skeptical when people say, oh, well, we sort of proved that we can do it from anywhere. I'm like, you just try and do it for a year and we'll see whether you're as productive as you were.
The global experiment in remote working has shown there are some things that are hard to foster online, like corporate culture and creativity. And these will be the mainstays of the post-pandemic office.
Well, that's about all I've got to say. A darn good job of saying it.
For younger workers, they make friends and connections and a network where they can get on in life later on. It's very hard to build a kind of esprit de corps in a company for people who haven't met. Offices will be less of a prison cell and more of a collaborative area, more of a games room, where you go in to try and shoot the breeze with your colleagues and come up with something different.
It may feel like the pandemic has revolutionized working life, but in some ways, it has simply come full circle. Before the Industrial Revolution, there was no working week, no 9 to 5, or fixed workplace for many people. And thanks to COVID-19, this may be closer to the way things will look when the world emerges from lockdown.
I'm Philip Coggan. I'm part of the columnist of The Economist covering management and work. If you'd like to read more about COVID-19 and its effect on working life, click the link opposite.
Hello.
This meeting is being recorded.
So now I want to know what are your guys' views on this? Like, should we allow workers to work from home or not? First of all, I would like to ask Jaskirat Singh, supervisor.
Yeah, it is good to work from home because everybody knows that home environment is good for work, and you don't have to take stress from and you don't.
This meeting is being recorded.
As we know that the working environment is different from the home environment, and home environment can sometimes help you be more productive and work faster than working at the office.
So you think that there are more advantages of working from home
Yeah,
than in
there
person?
are so many advantages.
Okay, so what are your views, head of HR, Taranpreet Singh?
I think it is not a good method because it will decrease our productivity, because in face to face we can do various tasks easily without any communication barrier, but working from home it's difficult because sometimes person is
Due to
in
bad
the
network connection, right?
bad network connection like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your views, head of union?
I am in the favor of this.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, I am in the favor of this Kirasing, as he stated that it is easier to work from home because of the working environment at home, as the employees get much time with their families and they are mentally happy. So they work with their full. So they were like to work very nicely and give more production to the company.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
people who work
suppose
from
if
home
we
have flexibility in their schedules as well.
Yeah,
suppose if we
so
let our
they can
employees
work
work from
anytime.
home, then
Okay.
like what do you think? What arrangements should we arrange for our employees so we can increase their productivity?
I
Like
think
we
we have
should
to.
provide some things to them. So
Yeah,
can you tell me, Mr.
Yeah,
Supervisor?
we can provide them like fiber nets, which are very useful and very fast. So there should not
yeah.
be any network connection problem.
Okay.
We also have to provide some devices like the people who don't have laptops and
Yep.
any other device which they can use for working.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that would be good.
Any problem that you guys think that we can overcome that normally people face while working from home? For example, sometimes people don't live in many big houses. So we should not make it necessary to turn on the camera.
Yeah, sometimes they get distracted because of some family members, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people have pets at home.
Yes.
this is the main issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
This meeting is being recorded.
As I asked, as a president, I asked many employees, or almost all the employees of our company, that whether they want to work from home or not. I think 50% want to work from home, but other 50% are not in favor of working from home.
Okay.
There are various reasons, but can you suggest me some things how I can persuade them to work from home? Because it's very risky to work in person because of COVID-19.
Yeah, due to COVID, right?
So, like, we should give them some incentives, according to me, to work from home.
Yeah, we should give them incentives
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a better
because we
option.
all because we all know that all the members of the family are not working currently.
Oh,
Just
yes.
one or two people who can work from home are working. So
Okay.
we have to increase their pay by $2 or $3 per hour,
Oh,
so
yes.
they can
That's a good
manage their
point.
expenses of the family.
Yes.
Or we can set some small targets for them. When they achieve it, we will give them something like
The bonus.
bump, yeah, a bonus or something like that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share, Mr. Taranpreet Singh?
I am agree with both of them because it is a right way to do things. Yeah.
Yeah, we can motivate them by giving them more pay.
Yeah.
Because we are working from home, so I think we would also have to fire some employees because we don't need some employees like watchman or sanitation department. So what do you guys think? Like, we should fire them or we should decrease their pay?
Yeah.
So we we have to fire them because it is like a burden on the company.
No, I am not agree with
It is
because
it is unnecessary.
unemployment increases, so that we watched in the video.
This meeting is being recorded.
So what were you saying, Mr. Jaskirat Singh? Like, we should fire them or not?
I think we should fire them because as we all know that our company is not going well, and also we don't have much profits, so
Yes.
we can't pay them according to their wage rate, so we should fire them because they are not working.
Okay, so as you guys told me some good ideas that how I can persuade some employees who are not in favor of working from home, we can give them small goals, and if they achieve them, we can give them bonus,
Yeah,
and we can also increase their pay rate by $2 or $3.
I think we have to motivate them for doing work from home, so
Yes.
by telling them the advantages of working from home.
Yes, but we also have to be strict. Like, you also have to be strict with your employees, because you should make sure that they are strictly dedicated to the work and not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will also stop the spread of COVID-19, and it is a better option.
This meeting is being recorded.
So first of all, I think now we should all let our employees know that soon our company will be fully remotely. We will work fully remotely. And I talked to management, and we are going to provide the employees with proper internet connection, and those who don't have laptops, we will provide them laptops also.
Okay.
So supervisor, you should just make sure as you stay more with the employees that while they are working for company, they are strictly dedicated to the work.
Yeah.
And if you find any employee like who is not dedicated to the work while working from home, then you should let us know. Then we will take the actions.
Okay.
And Mr. Taranpreet Singh, as you are head of HR, you should make sure that all the employees who work well, they get their incentives and their wage on time so that we can motivate them for future.
Yeah, sure.
And conversing, as you are head of the union, you should make sure that all the employees are strictly dedicated to work. You should tell them about the incentives that company is giving to them
Yeah.
and increase their productivity.
we also have to tell them the precautions that they have to take because of the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yes, we should also tell them that they should also be safe, because if our employees are safe, then only our company can work well.
Yeah.
So in the end, would you guys want to give any suggestions one by one?
Yeah, I think so. We have to uh, provide them the test kits
Okay,
at their home so that they can, if someone in their family having fever or the symptoms of COVID-19, so they can test on their own.
okay. Taranpreet
And
Singh.
Yes, I am agree with him because it is a better option. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Kanwar Singh.
Yeah, same as current teachers. I also agree with it.
Okay, so thank you for joining our meeting. And as our meeting is about to end, because we only get few minutes on this Zoom, so other details I will share with you by email. Thank you for
okay,
joining the meeting. Be safe, wear
Thank you,
masks.
Boparai. Thank you,
sure.
Boparai. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.